Welcome back to part 3 of Top Rope Reality right here on the YouTube as we do countdowns this week as we do every week. And we got our special guest, Gargoyle, here with us who's going to help us count down some of the Big 10, top 10.
He may not be able to read it.
Can I use my fingers and toes if I have to?
You can.
Sweet.
And our first top 10 is going to be the 10 iconic WrestleMania moments nobody will ever forget.
We were just talking about this. That's
and
funny.
Number 10, which I'm very surprised to be in number 10.
Yes.
Number 10, Brock Lesnar ends the Undertaker streak at WrestleMania 30.
That is something that no one will ever forget, but they wish never happened.
Yeah,
I will disagree with that because I know several friends of mine, wrestling fans, that had long thought it was time for the Undertaker streak to end.
I can see that.
You could see over the past couple of years the injuries taking its
a
toll on him,
yes.
and it was taking away from the mystique of the Undertaker.
Yes.
You know, I personally, even though it didn't bother me, I was kind of hoping they would let the Undertaker retire with the streak because I think they didn't give him enough runs as the heavyweight title, with the heavyweight title as much as he's done for the WWE.
Right.
You know, and I saw where the WrestleMania streak was, I think, Vince's way of showing him that appreciation without putting the strap on him. I thought he should have been able to retire with the streak, but did it bother me that he lost it? No. To who he lost it to? You know, I mean, it was believable with Lesnar because he's a beast, but to me, he should have lost it to somebody that was a full-time pro wrestler.
Right. That was our big argument was, yes, everything comes to an end, but it should have been a full-timer who could have taken it and ran with it because after Brock beat him, both of them were gone off of TV and all you had was Heyman.
Yeah.
Where did it go? Where did it help?
Nowhere, except giving Paul Heyman more TV time.
More TV time to say his line over and over again about the one to beat the one, you know, blah, blah, blah. But number 9.
21,
exactly.
It's all right. I'm a Paul Heyman guy, too, so I mean.
Number 9, Shawn Michaels ends Flair's career at WrestleMania 24. We were just talking about that, too. That is certainly something no one will ever forget.
No. That to me, was the highlight of that WrestleMania. And as I've stated before, I'm, you know, not the most WWE guy, but with two of my all-time favorite guys in there, you know, and just like with Flair having to come to an end, Shawn Michaels coming to an end, you know, the greatest, you can't beat Father Time, and they rolled that match. Flair showed that even at his age, he could still go.
Right.
And that's the amazing thing about the Nature Boy. 60 years old, he still can get it in the ring. They laid it out. The crowd ate it up. I mean, you could feel the emotion in that crowd.
Yes.
Even watching it on TV, you could just feel it. It was great.
Yes, absolutely.
Number 8, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon ladder match, WrestleMania 10. They keep that. They always put that ladder match up there, and you know, ladder match goes, ladder match goes.
I don't even think it should be on there.
I mean,
they do harp on it, and yes, it was a good match.
It wasn't all that.
I mean, it wasn't the greatest. I think we've had better ladder matches since then.
Sure.
But I will say this. I don't think they should keep saying the first.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Now, I'm calling the bullshit flag on that right now.
Yes, in wrestling history, there was Jake Roberts had a ladder match before that. I mean, but even in WWE, how dare you? I mean, I hate the part where they erase their own history. Because Brett and Shawn were the first ladder match, but I guess it was a rinky-dink show and nobody cared. But still, it's part of your history.
Now, if you want to go first ladder match at WrestleMania.
Right, say that all the time.
Yeah, really, just be specific and make it true to what it is.
Not first ladder match in WWE.
Because you've even come back and said it wasn't.
Right.
So now you're like a bunch of morons when you say it.
Later on, when they've done DVDs and Brett's talked about it in his DVD, it's like, okay, now you've insulted the intelligence of your fans. That's all they ever do.
It's the first ladder match. It wasn't really the first ladder match. Okay,
right.
Well, you're a dumbass, then, because you just said it was. And then
but you'll like what we tell you to like.
Yes.
A bunch of sheeple.
Yep.
Number 7, Stone Cold works his last match at WrestleMania 19. I think
Can you believe it was WrestleMania 19?
That's been so long ago. Wow.
I can't believe
But what is that? Well, that was his third match with The Rock, right? 19?
I think so.
Damn, I'm an old bastard.
Well, it has to be if it's last.
It was his last one, was The Rock.
Yeah.
I think that was the one. I think that was the one where they had to take him to the hospital because his heart was pounding like crazy.
Number 6, Undertaker, Triple H, and HBK tell story at WrestleMania 28.
That was mine. That was the Hell in the Cell with Triple H and Undertaker, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Sean was the special referee.
The second,
Miami.
Undertaker, Triple H. Yeah, I got tired of that too, of every being back to back with the same person.
Oh yeah, they did it twice in a row with Sean, twice in a row with Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I didn't like, and it's like
Kane so many times.
Kane was twice, and we actually were doing this the other week, and they were actually talking about how who should Undertaker's last WrestleMania opponent be, and they brought Kane up. I'm like, no, not again. It doesn't need to be that again. That's ridiculous. That's the only thing I don't like about the streak is it's like, okay, well if he beat that guy already, how can you count him twice?
And you know what my answer to why they do that back to back with Triple H and Kane and all that? That's why. The click, baby.
Right.
The click. The click makes the booking decision.
Because 4 years it was Sean and Hunter for 4 years.
Exactly.
Which I mean, yeah, they told a great story. I get that, but it's like spread the wealth, people.
Thank you.
Undertaker could have helped a lot. By losing to the Undertaker, you still get over. That's why if Undertaker beats Bray Wyatt WrestleMania, which he doesn't need to, but they may want to get his win back. But at the same time, it's like, well, why do that?
I'm afraid he's going to get his win back.
He probably will get his win back. But if he loses to Undertaker, it still will get Bray Wyatt over.
Sure.
Because Undertaker knows how to do his job.
Yeah.
Even by winning.
He may beat Bray. He will make Bray look good.
Yes, he will.
I want to throw a quick question in there
Yeah.
since we're talking about Bray Wyatt. What did you think about them breaking up Bray Wyatt and the
Too
little
early.
Wyatts?
I didn't like
Too
it.
early.
Me neither. They didn't even give it a chance. And especially with the Cena feud they had going
Yes.
on. That to me, they should have took that and let it roll. They had the whole. I mean, it doesn't matter because it seems whatever the WWE's doing to get people to hate Cena now, it's working. Whether it's the Authority, whether it was the Wyatts, but to me, when they had the little kids out there kept singing that song,
Singing the song
that was
great.
that was great. And I'm finally thinking, wow, the WWE's gonna make a turn. They've got a good new character going here, evil, creepy. They're getting on to the face of the company, the little kid's favorite guy, and all of a sudden you split up the family and, just...
Oh, I know.
It's the same thing with the Shield. It was too early.
But it's funny is John Cena has beat giants, but a little kid with a creepy voice freaks him out.
Right? That makes no sense. But at the same time, you know how they were saying at first when they bring people up from NXT, they weren't going to bring them up unless they had something for them, which has showed that that's not true. Xavier Woods has nothing. Bo Dallas has had nothing. But at the same time, when you do that with your main roster people and you split up factions, yeah, they had something for Dean, they had something for Seth, they had something for Roman. Why not do the same thing with the Wyatt family? Eric Rowan gets a nickname and he jobs every night. He's Big Red. Big Show beats him every time they wrestle.
He never got a win on Big Show.
Never.
And Luke Harper, what's he?
He won the IC title, but where did it take him?
Nowhere.
He just put him in that ladder match, which he's not going to win.
Right.
He's not going to win. No.
And he's very unsociable, too.
I've heard. You told me that.
Yeah, I was very...
When you met Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt was nice and he wasn't.
Yes. I mean, I understand because Payne Lord and myself, we were in Lafayette, Louisiana at the Monday Night Raw show and then traveled. We left Lafayette and went right to Biloxi where they were filming SmackDown. And we ran into it. Luke Harper almost ran us over in the parking garage, and I'm cussing, you stupid, blah, blah, blah. I'm giving him the finger.
Nice.
And then when he gets out of the car, and I'm like, oh, shit,
He's a big boy. And,
yes.
I do like the comparisons they give him to Bruiser Brody. I mean, there'll never be another Bruiser Brody, but he does compare well to him. He's got the size. He's got the look, too. I just think they could do so much better. Even with Bray Wyatt, even when they split the three of them up, where did that help Bray Wyatt at?
It did.
To me, he kind of fell off the face of the earth until the Undertaker thing popped up again. He's done nothing.
But he was so much nicer there in the casino. I mean, we all got to check in at the hotel. He takes his time to take a photograph with us, talks with us. He remembered us from when he was down in FCW Developmental as Husky Harris. And he goes,
and all the other names.
Yeah, you're that obnoxious guy that used to, and he was cool. On the other hand, Luke Harper, unsociable. I'm paying money that's paying your salary. You can't take 2 minutes to take a picture.
Right.
He ran away and hid in the goddamn elevator until we were gone.
Where Eric Rowan didn't travel with him?
No, he was not there with him.
Huh.
We saw Roman Reigns too, but he was with his mother, so we didn't bother him. This with the family, I'm a super fan, but I do have
That's one thing I'll say. If they're with their family or they're sitting down eating, don't bother them.
No.
That's their own time. But if they're just walking around and they're not busy,
right,
then they should have time to at least say hello, shake a hand.
And Bray Wyatt did. He sat right there while we were both checking into our rooms and stuff, shooting the breeze with us, took several photos. Great guy.
Nice.
Great guy. I really hope he gets the push that he deserved, that they started doing. I love the character, the creepy lantern, the with the buzzards and everything. He needs a push. He could be the next major superstar if WWE would do it right.
I mean, if they're losing Undertaker, there's your
new Undertaker.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I think they need to bring to help him a faction of sorts back with them. It doesn't have to be Luke. You don't have to bring back the Wyatt family. You need to bring like a cult. I think they should bring Dean Ambrose with him. Psycho Dean Ambrose. He starts drinking the Bray Wyatt Kool-Aid and you get a couple more guys. The WWE needs a faction of some sort to run roughshod over everybody. And
if you look at some of the people in NXT, you could tell by Vince's standards, they're not going to do anything.
Right.
Put them in a faction, it puts everybody over. But I honestly kept saying this to Mike Hogan over there when all this was going on about the Ascension coming up, and I'm not a big fan of them either, especially after they crapped on the Road Warriors. That was not a smart plan by the Hollywood writers.
No.
But I'll say this. I thought their character worked well to go with Bray Wyatt. I thought they were going to replace Luke Harper and Eric Rowan.
That could have been.
And that would have been better for them instead of being on Superstars every week now.
Yeah.
So
Jobbing out.
Yeah. They'll probably be losing the Lost Matadors if they hadn't already. Just so sad. Which I'm a big fan of Primo, more fan of a Carlito, but the other guy, whatever. But
El Torito!
That too.
No.
Number 5, Hollywood Hogan turns face versus The Rock at WrestleMania 18, and it was really because of the fans. It didn't seem like that was maybe part of the plan, but maybe the ref said, "Hey, go with this." Maybe he got a thing in his ear and said, "Look, that's what they're doing. That's the best for business." Because I mean, Hollywood Hogan being red and yellow. I mean, even though they called him Hollywood Hogan at that point, still.
Right, he was still wearing the black and white.
Still wearing the black and white, but he was a face. I think that was best at that time because things go in cycles. And when, they were booing him back in the 80s, we even talked about. In the 80s, early 90s, there was boos. I mean, because they were cheering Jake. Right, they were cheering Jake instead. And then when he went to WCW, they got tired of that crap, and that's when they turned him heel. And then the heel Hogan thing, that had ran its course. That was a WCW thing. The fans wanted their childhood hero back. And it worked.
And everybody knows I am the most vehement Hogan hater, but that was one of the 2 moments that I will give Hogan credit for doing what was right with business. The heel turn, forming the NWO, and going right back there in that match with The Rock, you could feel it. And I hate Hogan, but this is one of the few times he didn't go in business for himself. He did what was best for the company and business, and turned and got the reaction that they needed for that.
But in a way, he was in business for himself with the NWO thing, in a way, because he did not want to turn. They've already talked about that more than once. He didn't want to turn heel. That's not what Hogan does. But when he saw what was happening and the money he could make, he was like, oh, because they were talking about wanting to give it to Sting, and it wouldn't work with Sting. I'll say that. But Hogan was smart enough to realize, oh, there's some money to be made. Because he's made some mistakes, like the Jake Roberts one. He made some mistakes with that. Yeah. He could have made a lot of money, and Jake would have been over. But look at nowadays. Nowadays, the face is getting booed. I mean, that happened with Stone Cold Steve Austin, too. Keep with the course of things.
Right.
There's a lot of times where faces face a face. And heels are face and heel. It's like they don't matter anymore, so...
Yeah, you don't have that black and white area anymore with the good versus evil. You got to get the best quality match with the best, clash of characters, regardless if it's face on face, heel on heel.
That's why I like the indies, because that stuff doesn't matter as much. It's like, let's get the best match for the people.
And they're talking about after WrestleMania, it's going to be Bryan versus Dolph.
And I love that.
Hopefully they don't change sides. I hope they just keep it like it is.
Keep it like it is, right? Because they're going to cheer Dolph regardless. Even if he turns, they're still going to cheer him. They're the 2 most over people on the roster.
Mm-hmm. So it should be interesting, and will be good pay-per-view top matches to see.
Yes,
especially if it's fighting over the Intercontinental title.
Which I think it's going to be Sheamus and Daniel, unfortunately.
I do too. Which we don't need more of that. I'm tired of Sheamus.
For some reason, them 2 can't stay away from each other.
Well, Sheamus ain't got too much. He almost 40. He ain't got too much longer.
He's Triple H's buddy, though.
Don't care.
Next.
Number 4, Stone Cold becomes a player versus Bret Hart.
Yes, that's when he really got over
WrestleMania 13.
With the bleeding and the passing out. That's when we knew.
He did not submit to the sharpshooter.
Nope. That's when we knew, though, he was going to be over huge at that point. Number 3, Shawn Michaels wins his first WWE title at WrestleMania 12 And that when he told Britt, "Get out of the ring, it's my time." The boyhood dream has come true.
Yeah, the boyhood dream.
With the zip line.
The zip line thing.
Yeah.
Vince said, "I won't do it, and I won't make Sean do it if I won't do it." Well,
Sean did it.
Sean did it, but I'll say this. I know this is a sore subject. Did he come down from the ceiling and
No.
do the blue blazer thing?
No, he come at an
He
angle.
came at an angle, so even if he fell, he still had a much better chance of surviving.
So he didn't come straight down, did he? Like
No.
exactly. So
Or like the Crow, I'm still interested. I have not seen Sting rappel down from the ceiling.
they're not. They won't ever do that.
No,
again.
no.
Even Sting quit doing it when because that was the same company that did the Owen one was doing
Stings.
Stings. And they called Vince Russo and said, "Hey, we want to see if we could do business with y'all too." And that Vince Russo should have never said yes. That's for sure. And ultimately, it's Vince McMahon's thing. But if he's saying that he would never let Shawn do that if he wouldn't have done it, I'd like to see footage of Vince jumping from the ceiling like that, doing a blue blazer thing.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, what's fair is fair.
But like they said, it was his costume got caught.
It was an accident.
It was
Accidents
an accident,
happen.
and
Another tragedy.
And Vince might have done it. Vince might have come down, but
He may have done it.
if he's just wearing his shirt and he's got them all harnessed up and everything, nothing's gonna catch.
Right.
So,
Absolutely. It was just a tragic
It's just a
accident, but
yes.
I'm just saying
I
that's
know.
what it is what it is. I'm just saying.
Number two, Randy Savage versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, WrestleMania 3.
Still
match.
regarded as what? The greatest match of
Yes.
WrestleMania history.
A lot of people talk about. That's what they come up with. What match they talk about? Savage Steamboats.
Yes, that was the true main event of WrestleMania 3. But number one on this top 10, never forget moments of WrestleMania, is also WrestleMania 3 when Hogan slammed Andre. And once again, this goes back to what we were saying, quit messing with history. They said that Hogan slammed Andre. He was the first person to do it.
Wrong.
Guess what? He did it before WrestleMania 3, and before that, Harley Race slammed Andre the Giant. So quit trying to manipulate history to put over your people. Harley Race did it first, and yet nobody talks about that.
Nope.
And it was, I guess, because it was NWA and all
Exactly.
that. But that's so annoying to me. I understand not putting over your competitors and all that stuff, but I think at that time Harley was in the company.
Right.
Yes, he was.
King Harley.
King
He
Harley.
he just beat Junkyard Dog earlier in the night.
Earlier in the night, exactly. And I bet he was sitting back like, "Oh wait, that was me.
Yeah.
Sorry."
I have a question to you two for this match right here. Now, I'm sure we've all seen this match between Hogan and Andre,
Right.
where he body slammed him.
Yes.
Now, in your opinion, I don't know how many times you've watched it. I've watched it several times, and Andre had him pinned for the 3 count.
Oh, the old falling down.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
1, 2.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God! I gotta get out of this big person.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
he probably did. You know, like they say, Hogan was like, if Boss wanted to do it, Boss would have done it, and I couldn't have done nothing about it. Vince couldn't have done nothing about it. You know, he was business, but apparently he didn't get off of him quick enough. But you know, Hogan should have been as strong as he said he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all that was all Andre anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
if, if you're a big man like that, if you don't jump, you ain't getting up. That's like Big Show. Oh, look at Big Show. He's gotten picked up by Cena, the WrestleMania when he won the U.S. title. And guess what? Now everybody can pick up Big Show.
Cesaro picked him up, threw him out of the battle royal.
Yeah, but Cesaro's
Cesaro's
bad.
a legit, actually strong
But
man.
but it kind of loses it because, like you said, everybody picks him up.
Right. And then when you go back and look at the feud with like Big Show and Rey Mysterio, once Rey Mysterio can beat you, you need to go home. And Floyd Money Mayweather, okay, you should be able to. I know it's all planned, but you should have been able to pick up that guy like in the promo when he picked him up and threw him into the wrestlers. You could throw that dude in like the 5th row. Okay.
Thank you.
So there's got to be some sort of realization here,
Right.
and they don't know how to do that.
And even as talented as Rey Mysterio is, when he's 5'9",
A giant killer.
185 pounds, and he beats the 500-pound giant,
I mean, it's,
your
you
gimmick
can't go
is
anywhere from
done.
there.
Exactly. Your gimmick is killed.
I mean, because he did it with Nash. WCW was the giant killer in WCW and all that kind
Right.
of stuff. Nash, I could kind of see it. Okay, he's not 500 pounds. He's not
Right.
7 foot tall. Big Show could literally have set on that man, and that man would not be alive today.
And
I'm just saying.
Mysterio is quick enough to drop kick Kevin Nash's weak knees too, and move
Hey,
around
man.
to where you could take him down and realistically beat him
Right.
by taking the knees out. The Big Show, sorry, there's no way Rey Mysterio beats you. You know.
Once I grab you around the throat.
Right.
Exactly. Once he gets a hold of you, you're done. Whether it's an arm, the neck, a leg, like Hulk smash, bam, end of story.
Exactly.
Big Show smash, boom.
WrestleMania 31 is going to be our next countdown. We're talking about 8 shocking turns that could happen on the night of WrestleMania 31. Ooh. Number 8. Could we see Brie Bella turn on her sister? I hope not, because
WWE writing, so we could.
WWE is writing, yes, but at the same time, they did it before, and it just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Right.
It's like all of a sudden, oh, we're happy with each other again. Yeah. I mean, I hate that you were ever born, and now we're a tag team again.
Yeah.
Logic.
And I'm backing my sister up, helping her keep that world belt. You know,
Even though if she was a true fighting person, she would want the belt. So you would think, I'm going to go in for myself instead of being your backup and making sure you win. It just doesn't make sense after y'all turn on each other.
Or if you were going to use that angle, you keep your sister getting the belt till you get your shot to take it from her.
Right. Yeah.
All right, quick question. Which one you like better, Nikki or Brie?
Brie.
Really?
It's because she's with Daniel, probably, is the whole reason.
She's more nicer.
I'm all about juicy Nikki, man.
If you want the titties,
no, it's that butt, man. I'm sorry.
Nasty girl, yeah, Nikki's the one.
Yes, she's got a juicy booty, and
if you're into the body and all that kind of stuff, I see Nikki.
Yeah, I'm not talking about ring nothing. I'm just talking about.
And I'm not saying about
my own deviant little desires.
I'm not saying the ring work or anything, but I just, from the Total Diva show, I just like Brie's personality better. Yeah.
But I'm not talking about as a person. I'm talking about one thing only.
Oh, I get it. I get it totally. You're looking at the body, and that's completely fine. Nikki gets on my nerves.
And number 7.
So she's sponging off John Cena.
Number 7, this will be turn number 1,577.
I thought it was 79.
No.
Okay.
No.
83.
This is bad. It's the Big Show.
The Big Show. Yes. We can see the Big Show turning more.
Oh!
I see the Big Show turning more than I can see number 6 turn.
Number 6, this will only be 1,100 turn, and that is Kane.
Nope. Don't want to see
they're both in the Battle Royal, though, aren't they?
Yes. So but they've been teasing off both you for the last
I get that. Okay, number 1, they've been a tag team champions together. They've been this and that and the other together. I don't want to see them two feud. It's like seeing, they're a whole lot better than this person, but it's like seeing Great Khali versus Kane at WrestleMania. Oh. I don't want to see Big Show versus Kane.
I don't.
That was another guy who I could never understand why he had a roster spot.
Just because he was a big dude.
They loved him in India. And they said,
John Laurinaitis said, I'm going to hire you because you're a big dude and you've been in the movies.
And you're ugly.
They did not check out his wrestling background before they did all that. But a Big Show and Kane, neither one of them need to turn. So to me, 8, 7, and 6 don't need to happen.
Number 5 would be a shocker and surprising and could lead to your point with Bray Wyatt.
Ooh, yeah.
Dean Ambrose turning.
Yes. That would be quite interesting if Dean turned. And it would not bother me a bit because he's already a proven heel with the Shield. Mm-hmm. And to me, he was a better mouthpiece for the Shield than the Seth Rollins. Which it seemed like they were going for Dean Ambrose being the mouthpiece.
Yes.
Roman always needed to be the silent killer.
Believe that.
That's all he needed to say.
That's
all he says now, except for suffering succotash.
Have you guys seen any of Ambrose's work, like in Dragon Gate or other things when he was John Moxley?
I've seen a few, yes.
You need to seriously go look in some Dragon Gate and stuff with where he's John Moxley. He is so evil. So evil, cutting great promos to where, like you said, he should have been the mouthpiece of the Shield. So, and I really hope he turns because he's so much more effective as a heel, and just based on what I've seen.
Oh yes.
Before.
Because him and Brody Lee, which is Luke Harper, they came in at the same time in those CZW and all that. They were both there at the same time. So yes, I do agree he would be a better heel though. Yeah, absolutely. He's a fun face.
Yes.
He's very entertaining. He reminds me in the way they're trying to build him up as a Stone Cold.
A PG Stone Cold.
A PG Stone Cold, of course, like making the daggum psychiatrist cry and all that junk.
Right.
It's goofy, but he could put over anything. He can get something over. He's just one of those consummate professionals that you give it to me, I'll make it look good.
Yeah.
And that's just one of his things that he does. Number 4.
Turn, Dean, turn.
Number 4.
But if he went against Roman... they still cheer him. So.
That's true. Number 4, definitely. Like I said, he needs to win the Battle Royal.
I don't know if he's winning the Battle Royal, but this is going to happen. It's WrestleMania already. WrestleMania, yeah. It's just a matter of
Damien
time.
Sandow turning on The Miz. I mean, we already know it's happening. We just don't know exactly when it'll execute, but it needs to be him winning the Battle Royal and turning on the Miz. That's just me.
Sheamus coming in starting as a face and will turn during the.
He could come out, everybody will cheer him because he's coming in at WrestleMania, being in the ladder match, and
yes.
then Daniel Bryan will be up there to grab the belt, and he'll attack Daniel, which to me is hard to turn in a ladder match because it's every man for themselves.
Exactly. So you don't really have that aura about you to where you can distinguish yourself
Right.
making that turn
Right,
as
exactly.
you could in.
But if you attack Daniel, that does help.
It does help. Anybody that messes with Daniel, they're going to boo you, but I think after he gets the belt, if he viciously attacked Daniel
right.
after the match, after he wins the belt, hitting him with the belt or whatever, starting that up, that would help. It has to be something after he grabs the belt. That's the only way.
And if the WWE bookers are listening to this, and as we said, please let Mizdow turn and crush the Miz. You can set up a good feud, a year-long feud, culminating in next year's WrestleMania. Well, that's right, they don't do long feuds.
No, they don't.
Only with part-timers when they're
Right.
not, when they're in Hollywood.
Yeah. Making a movie for 7 months. So, but yeah, that could be a really good storyline there. Miz just being the A-lister being crushed by a stand-in creepy stalker buddy there, winning the Battle Royal, getting the trophy. Look at me now, and please make it happen. Do something right.
And again, this goes to what we were talking about before. Put Mizdow and Axelmania together as the new Mega Powers. Come on. Honestly, they're both goofy characters, but they are two of the most over people on the roster besides Dolph and Daniel, in my opinion.
Yeah, because Curtis Axel is really getting.
He's getting over with that Axelmania, even though I saw him on Botchamania already because of that.
They need to push it more.
They do.
And it's better than having him be a tag team partner with Ryback, another guy who's wasting a roster spot, in my opinion.
But yes, if you watch Botchamania, it was supposed to be 32 days in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And he looked at the screen and said he had been in it for 32 minutes. Or 32 hours, 7 minutes. It's like, really? It said 32 days, but he messed that totally up, and that got on Botchamania, which I thought was funny.
Botchamania.
Which is funny. Number two is Seth Rollins, which if he cashes in on...
He will get cheered regardless. Even if he's a heel, he'll still get cheered. I don't really know. I think he's still going to stay with the whole authority thing.
Yes.
That's his meal ticket right now. Now if Triple H started getting on him and they get mad at each other, him and Triple H, with Triple H putting Seth Rollins over at a SummerSlam or another WrestleMania,
good SummerSlam match.
That would help put him over as a good face. But I think he's still got some longevity in this authority thing.
Right. And they love Brock. So, I mean, he'd get cheered for music because it's a surprise cashing in.
Right.
But if Roman takes it and then that music hits, that place is going to explode.
And speaking of that, number one is something that I can see happen. He needs a mouthpiece. He needs this to happen, and he's already getting booed anyway. Roman Reigns turning heel, joining up with Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman's done
it before.
Over Brock one time before.
He did it before when he joined up with Big Show, and he turned
on
Brock Lesnar, so we can see it happen again. And I think.
And if Brock's leaving.
Right.
Or just leaving for a little while. I mean,
even living for a little while. Even
if
he hasn't signed a new contract,
what they said on this is
that
Brock goes away for a little while.
Right.
This turns, and he comes back, and they can have their rematch at SummerSlam.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean,
so once again, that makes sense, and we know how the WWE
that is
common
true,
sense.
So we might just get ready for Roman to be standing there with a belt, and nothing happens at the end.
But Roman definitely needs to be a heel. He needs a mouthpiece regardless. Roman is a horrible promo.
Yes, he needs a mouthpiece.
And our final countdown is 9 W stars who must win.
Must win.
They must win. Number 9 is AJ Lee and Paige.
I don't know.
For the feud, I think they need to win.
For the feud, yeah, because it doesn't matter. I mean, one gets a belt.
Nobody gets the title.
Yeah, but someone pins Nikki, and that gets a shot. Later at Extreme Rules, you get a title shot.
But more than likely, somebody will pin Brie, and it won't matter.
Right. Number 8, Tyson Kidd, Cesaro, and Natalya, which you don't need part of that.
I don't know why Natalya's on that, but yes, Kidd and Cesaro, even though they love to put the tag team titles in the pre-show every time.
I know.
It sucks. But yes, Kidd and Cesaro need to keep going with the tag titles.
Yes, I'd like for them to be given a chance to keep these titles and run with it and actually make the tag team titles worth something.
Yes.
Nothing against the effort of the Usos or anything, but... Yeah.
And where are the days of the old-fashioned heels who would cheat to keep the titles?
Yes. Exactly.
I mean, they're trying to work some things in there, but they should not lose
And I know we hate on these people, but the old switcheroo can happen again in WWE if they actually made Los Matadores a serious tag team. You could switch them and do the whole switcheroo like the Killer Breeze and all that kind of stuff used to do, and it would look cool to do that because they're heels now. But the old-fashioned tag team stuff, WWE is not the custodians of that history. They do not care, and it won't come back.
At first, they didn't care when they changed the belts. Those ridiculous things they got.
That looks like pennies. My gosh.
Really?
I
kind of like them myself.
I hate the belts. I hate the belts.
I'm not so much the color as the design. I like the little
The gladiator thing, the Spartan thing. I just don't like the copper.
Come on, Jesus Christ! Look at the damn John Cena spinner belt.
I hate that belt.
too. Nothing with John Cena associated. I hate all of that.
No, the spinner belt.
Nothing can be worse than the spinner belt.
Of course, number 7 goes back to the shocking turns, but number 7 is someone who needs to win. Is Ms. Dow, Sandow, whatever you want to call him, and that's very true. And number 6 is very true.
Number 6, Daniel Bryan needs to win.
I think it'll help the IC title to have.
Well, if they go on the route they're saying they're going to go, if Brock stays, then he's not going to be around. So the main 2 titles will be John Cena with the U.S. title, Daniel Bryan with the Intercontinental title. They will carry the shows.
Or even if Sheamus is a heel and he gets the IC title, Daniel Bryan chasing the IC title will still help, though.
You can't have Daniel Bryan not be the champion.
I could see them doing a heel and a face. A heel and a face champions like that. I honestly believe that Daniel chasing the belt and then winning it, like maybe a SummerSlam or something like that, would be a big deal. I want him to win the ladder match. Obviously, I'm trying to look at the WWE's way of booking. And they're going to look at, ooh, big strong man. Let's put him in the belt.
Yeah, let's give Sheamus the title.
Right.
Gosh, it's hard for me to function without drinking beer to get in the WWE frame of mind.
Exactly.
Booking process.
Exactly. Number 5, Roman Reigns, they say must win. I disagree. I see why they say that because he needs the push by beating Brock because Brock beat The Undertaker. I understand all that. But I don't think... A lot of the old timers have said this. He's not ready.
No.
He's not over. They just didn't. They shoved him down our throats too fast.
Yeah.
They needed to make that a slow build. Maybe next year's WrestleMania if they built it all the way up to that point. But the Shield is over with. He needs to quit wearing the Shield outfit.
Thank you.
You're not the Shield by yourself.
Yeah, but he looks good in it.
I mean, he makes it look good, yes. But the other 2 had to change their looks. I think he needed to also.
Yeah, go away, no Shield. Change it a little bit.
Maybe just trunks, long trunks, and no top over him or whatever. I mean, he don't look as big as his brother, my gosh.
I understand where you're going with that too, but I also think if they're going to, for him to get that push, I agree with you. He doesn't need to win. Let Lesnar beat him. In a titanic, epic, physical, grueling, bloody match. That way,
blood, but
no,
it's got
to be blood.
It needs to be blood.
It's got to be
Right.
blood.
It needs to be blood.
Yes, good physical, bloody, grueling match. That way, his credibility is still there. I mean, you're fighting the beast tooth and nail in this long match. Then, bam, he can still be worked on to push, get another year's worth of build up. Seth Rollins comes in there. Lesnar goes bye-bye. Seth gets the belt. And then you can also set that Seth Roman feud up, giving him another year.
It's a natural thing because of the show thing. I mean, I completely agree with that. Just Roman needs more work.
Absolutely.
He needs to go down. Maybe he needs to go down to NXT and learn to do promos.
Or maybe he ought to call up The Rock and hang out.
Yeah,
let's go bowling, bro, and I'll teach you how to cut some promos.
Clearly, The Rock raising your hand and going like this doesn't get you over anymore.
No.
It didn't help with Cena, and it ain't helped with Roman.
It sure don't. It's like, well, I thought it worked against The Rock. Everybody loves The Rock. They don't love Roman that much, so.
Number 4,
Seth
someone
Rollins.
who needs to win is Seth Rollins. Not against Randy.
I don't know.
He needs to. I think he needs to cash in. You could get both number 5 and number 4 together. Roman wins, and then Seth cashes in and beats him. Okay. Yes.
I mean, it would be a shock. It would be a shock to see him beat Orton.
But with Orton just now coming back, I mean, maybe Orton is willing to do the job to put over Seth even more. But I've seen it time and time again where the person has lost earlier in the night and then they cashed in and won the title.
Sure. Too predictable, in WWE booking. I think Randy Orton also, even though he's still relatively young, he's accomplished so much in his career, he can be secure in putting Seth Rollins over.
Exactly. I mean, Cena needs to be more secure too.
You get ready for RKO, J&J grabs your feet.
Right.
Then you get run down the road. You're on your hands and knees. Curb stomp. 1, 2, 3. Seth takes to the win. He gets escapes.
Because you know J&J's going to be out there regardless. Number 3.
Or they hold his foot.
Right.
Like they did with Warrior when Warrior got beat by Rude. Because Heenan held the foot. I mean, things, you can be cheated and that builds. You can keep continue on.
They could get. Because if Seth was to win the belt that night, you still have the natural feud there because they cheated Randy Orton. Boom. Yeah. Title picture right there. Next person, number 3, is Sting. We know he's going to win.
Yeah, Sting will get the win.
Doesn't need to win. He will win.
Triple H will do the job for Sting.
WCW will conquer the WWE.
Really? You're that confident that no Zilla there is going to put Sting over?
Here's my thing. If Sting, after 14 years, is finally willing to join the WWE, there must be a reason why. Because
he's going to get that WrestleMania win.
Of course, he got over going into the whole video game thing. Yeah, that's great. That's wonderful. But he wouldn't have signed on the dotted line if they were going to make him look like the Alliance did back in the day. That's one of the reasons he didn't want to come back. It's because how bad they made them look. They had to have an agreement there. You got to make Sting look good. That's part of
He can still look good and still lose, though.
Absolutely, and I completely agree. But
Hunter will do the job.
Hunter's going to do the job. WCW gets to conquer the WWE.
Do you think that maybe, I will throw this out there at you, Sting loses, sets him up for a build-up, and possibly gets a title shot, and he wins his WWE title shot maybe at next year's WrestleMania, in the main event, and then he can retire as the guy that's won all the major belts?
I could see that happening, but I don't think they're going to keep him near a title at all. No. I think he'll go in and beat Triple H, and then if they want to continue on with this thing with The Undertaker, depending on how they make him look with Bray Wyatt, I could see him saying, okay, I'll get one win at WrestleMania against Triple H, and then lose in my final WrestleMania to The Undertaker to have the Phenom and the of course the icon or the Phenom of WCW, the franchise of WCW.
Who says there has to be a winner?
True.
Undertaker and Sting, there may never be a winner.
And that's true. And they could go that route. But I could see where Sting could say, as a consolation prize.
Hunter loses.
Because Sting, every interview he's had, he said, I want to face The Undertaker. Then all of a sudden they give Undertaker to Bray Wyatt and Triple H to Sting. It seems like there's more to it. There's longevity.
They're saving it for Texas. They want to fill the 100,000 seats. Sting, Taker, no matter what their age is, people want to see Sting, Taker.
Yeah, Jerry World, they'll sell that place out.
Because I think you'll agree
with this. You may have Austin come back.
Right. I think you'll agree with this. I mean, Texas, Rock. They've got to pull out all the stops for 100,000 seats.
We can get Rock Brock.
They said they were putting the seeds in there for it because Brock was talking about how I beat Roman's cousin before.
You want to sell out. You want to have pretty much the biggest WrestleMania.
If you have Brock and you have Rock and then you have Undertaker and Sting, Stone Cold, of course, Shawn Michaels will show up just to show up. Yes. But if Stone Cold shows up, I mean, if he's a referee or if he's not just going to come back to be backstage just to hang out. But will we have another active wrestler go in the Hall of Fame? Will The Undertaker go in the Hall of Fame in Texas the night before that WrestleMania? It would make sense. And since this person's also from Texas, will we finally get the retirement of Mark Henry at WrestleMania?
God, I hope so.
He's from Texas. He's from Texas. I could see him saying, I'll retire then.
He should have retired.
How about Extreme Rules coming up?
Yeah, let's not wait that long.
No, I agree.
Let's try him now and how about this WrestleMania?
Since apparently they love Mark Henry so much.
Put him in next year, who cares? But let's get rid of him now.
Right.
Retire Mark Henry.
And then number 2 is the person that does need to win.
He should win, I think, Undertaker, but I don't know. That one, it's hard to call on that one.
It is hard to call, and that's what I like about it. They're saying, will he show up with Undertaker show up? We already know. Okay, they're not stupid. If you book a match, of course, Undertaker means he's going to be there.
Yes.
But will he do the job to make Bray Wyatt look good, or will he get his win back for losing to Brock?
We will see.
Mean Mark McCool versus Bray Wyatt.
Exactly.
And number 1 needs a win, but I don't see him getting one.
Nope. Rusev.
I see this falling in the same suit as Bray Wyatt last year.
Yep.
John Cena will.
John Cena should have lost.
What you gonna do, brother?
When I take my hat and my sweatbands off and throw them into the crowd on you.
And the best thing they can do, they can make money off of it, USA gear for John Cena.
Of course. Make it come out in red, white, and blue.
Yes, you're Hulk Hogan. Why not?
Have the flag come on the big screen and all this kind of stuff.
Have people stand have the walkway with everybody care to have American flags. Why not?
Well,
I
you
mean,
know we're gonna have soldiers.
We're gonna have soldiers, Russian soldiers.
Russian
yes,
soldiers for
good.
Rusev.
Nice.
So,
They're doing the build up, and you know, John, I wish he would do the job.
they
but he's
say
not.
he says, "Oh, I'll do the job for anybody." I
Because
don't
what
know.
would that say? The mighty John Cena couldn't get a win for the United States. Who is gonna beat Rusev?
As long as
That's
it's not
the
Hogan.
question.
But,
no, as long as it's not Hogan.
I mean,
Well, it'll be Mr. America will come out of retirement.
That's my whole thing. I mean, you talk about Randy Orton, young enough and still secure in his job. Randy Orton, in the same week, lost to Claudio, of course, and then that same exact week, John Cena beat Claudio. It's like, okay, if Randy Orton's willing to lose to him, why can't you? And that's what he should have. He should have lost to Bray Wyatt last year.
I understand John Cena. I mean, you're there, man. You're not. If you lose, you're not going to lose.
He's not going
exactly.
The spot's there.
You are the franchise. You are the merchandise cash cow. They could put you in a diaper match and you lose, and you're still getting paid. You still got the spot. You don't have to worry about anything.
Exactly.
It boggles my mind.
I know. You're there. You're done. Now put more people over. Hey, they beat the mighty John Cena. But
I mean, another perfect example. Something like you look at The Rock. He puts anybody over.
Yes.
I mean, he made Hurricane look good. He lost the Hurricane. Come on, people.
So John Cena can do it. I'm the place. I'm the man of the place, and you gotta go.
I'm the face that runs this place. And maybe they're just holding off that one big match where he finally loses to someone and then goes off and retires. But I think you could be like the other.
For 5 more years.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I think he needs to be able to lose.
Now we have another 12 years of John Cena.
He needs to lose more often. I mean, yeah, it'll
does.
mean something when he finally loses his last match, or probably
12 years,
they'll
dude.
probably
You're
win.
heading downhill. You should be able to beat it. You shouldn't take an ass whooping and then come back and beat it.
Yes, if you look at when he first debuted and look at him now, you could tell he's definitely aging.
Because look, CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan. That's it. Last 3-4 years.
Yep, that's the only 3 people.
It's only
Disgusting.
It is very.
And
sad.
if he loses anybody else, it's always some tricky. Oh, somebody come out.
There's so have you ever noticed that there's always a screwy finish if John Cena loses, always screwy to it.
But those are the only 3 he cleanly.
Yep.
And CM Punk's little, because they were some people out there.
Right.
But Daniel Bryan, he lost, and Brock definitely.
Well, Brock destroyed him.
So,
but that's going to be it for countdowns.
Yes.
And then, yes, that went a long time too. But
wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
that's right. Part 4, we're going to go over the rest of the WrestleMania card and talk about wrestlers who Hogan refused to lose against. This time it'll be Macho Man Randy Savage.
All right, guys, but wait. Let me stand up here a little bit. What do you think about my shirt here? I wore this especially for you guys.
We do love Dr. Tom.
Yeah,
And Tom
Dr.
Brown.
Tom, baby.
One of our top interviews we
That's
had.
right.
Here.
One of the best interviews we have had.
Indeed. 60 minutes, epic quality.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Walter Cronkite was proud, rolling over in his grave.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. And almost 60 minutes is the show
Yes.
today.
Oh!
Hey, there it is. But we will
That's
be back.
special. It's a special
That's
guest,
right. It's a
so-
special guest, so we got to do different things.
Yes.
Different set, a secret location.
That's
Yes.
right.
Secret location. But part 4, we will be right back.
Our Hall of Fame inductions.
That's
yes, we're
right.
going to talk about our Hall of Fame inductions as well.
And with the segment with the most perfect hand signal
That's
ever,
right.
Yes.
baby.
Woo!
Part 4. It's next. Click over there. To the right. Or the left. Now that.